Welcome to Prajavahini. I am Archana Swamy. Introducing my today's guest. She was having one of the fanciest of the careers, traveled the world and had the happiest of her life until one day she discovered that she had breast cancer. Let's unveil her journey through which she not only discovered herself but today is an inspiration to many as she's spreading her purpose of life. Taking this moment to just acknowledge the journey of a very normal girl who turned out to be extraordinary. Let's get to know more about the inspiring journey of Upasana Bijoor. Thank you, Upasana.
Thank you. Love being here, Archana.
Thank you very much. Firstly, I want to congratulate for the joy you're spreading through your food and nutritional advice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
According to you, what's that one lifestyle change which makes the biggest impact on one's health?
So, I think that the most important thing is to understand that lifestyle and food is really what decides our health.
Okay.
So, if we understand that food and lifestyle is or can either feed diseases or it can feed your health.
Okay.
So, if we understand that, then whatever you do or whatever you put in your mouth or whatever habits you choose with time, you will feel like you are paying attention to it. So, for example, if I know I'm not sleeping well at night or I'm watching series late night, things like this, then if you're aware that sleep is important, hydration is important, eating lots of colorful plants, fruit, vegetables, whole grains, all of this, then you'll make that big difference. So, I think the most important thing is to know that food and lifestyle really decide what kind of health we hold in our hands.
Okay. And in this fast-paced lifestyle, what is that one habit which we need to overcome or we must overcome to have a healthy life?
I think we all are living that very fast-paced, journey. So, de-stressing. I think de-stressing mechanisms are very, very important because I've seen that so many people and everybody, including myself, like stress hits us a lot. It happens all the time. So, we can't take that stress away. But what we can do is apply some de-stressing mechanisms, meditation, maybe journaling, just taking deep breaths, 5 deep breaths before you eat. So, any 2 or 3 de-stressing mechanisms, if you apply to yourself, automatically everything starts becoming okay. Once you feel calm, you'll make healthier choices with food, you'll sleep well, everything else follows.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Food so well, I feel. So, what is that you follow in your routine to make it easier and probably less stressful?
I've tried everything. I love trying it all out, but there are a few things that I think the simplest thing which I can do anywhere is just take deep breaths. Just 5 deep breaths where you expand your belly on your in-breath and you really exhale. Just calms down. I feel that's that switch from stress mode to calm mode. So, if I'm in a hurry and rush, sometimes it takes some time to understand that you're stressed. So, you don't have to realize you're stressed. Just before eating or before going to bed, these are the 2 times at least, even after you wake up in the morning, before eating and before going to bed, if you just take 5 deep breaths, I do that. I feel like my food might just get digested better or I might have a better sleep. So, yeah, that's something I do.
Every frame of sentence you speak about eating habits and it innately comes out of you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what were your eating habits like before you were diagnosed with breast cancer?
So strangely, I felt like I was eating the healthiest food on earth. I would wake up in the morning. I was living in the Gulf, so I used to have something called laban, which is very thick lassi like drink, and I used to put a lot of fruits in it, and I used to have a lot of I'm from the coastal region like Mangalore, so I eat fish, and I used to eat vegetables, and I thought I was really taking care of myself. So I felt I was very healthy. But I did have multiple small health issues like chronic bronchitis. I had gut problems, but I always blamed my job because I was an air hostess. So I used to blame my job because I'm in different countries at different times. Oh, that's why I have cough, and that's why I have these.
You're not sleeping on time or eating
Yeah.
on time, so you immediately blame it on the lifestyle.
Lifestyle, yes.
So when did you actually understand that it was not just your lifestyle?
So yeah, when I had to do a regular checkup because of my job, and that's when they detected that lump, which they said was cancerous, and they said it was a very low level stage 0 cancer. So I had to get that surgery done, got rid of that lump, but that's when I started questioning everything. So I wouldn't say that it was an easy journey at all.
I'm sure.
Right now, when I retrospect, okay, I can put it down and say this happened, that happened. But at that moment, there's so much confusion, there's fear, there's worry, there's so many like why me, the thought of why me.
I'm sure.
So that was all very much there. But somehow inside me, there was this very strong feeling that this can be worked on, or health can get better, and there's a very natural way to it. But I didn't know what and how, so I used to read.
You were quite young also,
Yeah.
right? You were at 28, you were
Yeah.
diagnosed. So where did you gain the mental strength at that point of time?
When I look back now, I don't know from where. Really, I feel like now if I think back, it's something that happened. But at that point, it just, we are only put in those situations, the ones that we know how to deal well with and handle well with. So at that time, you just do anything that it will take to get better, to heal. So that went on and on. You just you just find the courage. You just feel like that inside you have, you don't give up, and you know that whatever you do, you want to heal. You want to be the healthiest of yourself. So you will try everything, and today I did this, tomorrow I'll do this. I'll keep trying new things until I find substance, until I find the answer. Right? So now when I look back, it sounds like, oh, it was courageous at that moment. But at that moment, I got to take this on.
So what were your immediate actions that you wanted to take and you took after you were diagnosed?
So when I was diagnosed, I had to go back, get a surgery done, get that lump removed. That lump was cancerous. They sent it for biopsy, and they said I have a condition called DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ. I didn't know what that meant. That's such a big word. But carcinoma, I somehow thought, okay, cancer. But that's when the lab technician said it's a problem. So that's when immediately what I would say was denial. Not me. Can't happen to me. No way. So that was one thing. Then some acceptance happened slowly later. But immediately I was in the oncologist's office, and she said, first thing she said is don't Google it. So I had already done it. So that made a big difference. But she said, the best part is that cancerous lump is out. But there are few other, because I had done a lumpectomy surgery to get rid of it. But they said there are few other lumps around, and just to make sure that doesn't become cancerous, you'll have to take a medicine called tamoxifen. Now this medicine works specifically on blocking female estrogen.
Okay.
And I was not into science, or I didn't understand, but I just felt like, why should I take something that is, to block a female hormone? It didn't sound right.
The logical mind just was speaking to you.
Yeah. And it just came on, let me figure out, let me try to see if what else we can do. So my immediate steps were just to kind of take that and, soak into it. and then see what are the things I can do. And that's when my questioning mindset really came on. And why are people say cancer was pretty common in my family, so I thought, okay, there's some reason we have to understand.
So, and what were the actions, or when was it exactly that you decided I have to try something new apart from the medicine? Because here you would be under the guidance of the doctors and taking what they advised you to, right? So, when did that go beyond doctors?
When I was told that this medicine you have to take for 5 years, it will block your estrogen. My first thoughts are, oh, if I'm not, then will I still be a woman, with no estrogen? So immediately those were the thoughts. So immediately I felt like, wait, we'll hold on to this. I don't feel, and I had tremendous family support.
Wow.
Tremendous family support. That was the best thing. My parents, I was 28, so of course I can imagine what my parents went through, right? It wasn't easy. So we said we'll just figure it out, try to see what else we can do. So I was looking at a more natural way. But I went back to my flying career, and
even after your course of medication and all
I
of
did
that?
not take any medication. So I did
Wow.
not take any medication. So I was diagnosed with lumps. I came to India to do the surgery. I was here only on 5 days leave because my mindset somehow was denial. Chalta hai. It's
But I
okay.
think even that helped you, right?
Now when I look at it, I think so. Because there was a denial, there was like, jaldi, let's finish it. I'll go back. And then I did that surgery that came back from the biopsy result with this carcinoma state. They said it's good that lump is out, but there are 4 other lumps, so they shouldn't become cancerous. So take this medicine. So I said, I'm not going to take that medicine.
But you have a lot of fear at that point,
Yeah.
right? So you would rather follow the doctor's advice than explore new options that can be possible and which you don't know the probability of.
So true. I respect the doctors so much. My family members, my mom's elder sister, and they have had, she's had cancer, younger sister. So I feel, I saw her elder sister die at a very early age, and I felt like she was just taking medication, and she got better for some time, but then it came back again. So all of these thoughts were in my head. So I was not clear about, yes, I don't want to take any medical support at the moment. It was just at this very moment, I don't want any medicine. Let me try to understand it first. But in that time, when I was trying to understand it, I figured that there could be some lifestyle changes I can make.
Wow.
So I
And
was
how
blessed.
did that happen? I think it just came to you, or you read something?
Yeah, I just kept, in fact, I was gifted a book, and my friend thought, I love cooking. So she thought it was about food and cooking, but it was actually all about reading labels, understanding that what is written in the labels is not always the truth. There's a lot of manipulation with marketing and labeling. So this, this kind of, book.
So the seed in you to
Yeah.
be that nutritionist somewhere in the future.
It was too early still, but I started reading after that, and I came across the plant-based lifestyle. Then I read the
so
China
it was in the
study.
same process.
In the same process, within a month of the surgery.
Wow.
Within a month of the surgery, and there was a lot of, let's say, putting my worries or my tension into the universe. Asking for answers. I was really wondering if I could find an alternative way, and I didn't know what that way was. But these books kind of helped me understand. So when I read China Study, which is, I recommend that book to everybody who's interested in nutrition generally. His name is Dr. Colin Campbell, who's written this book, and it just changed my life. Immediately, I started following what was written in that book. He also has a whole course on plant-based nutrition from eCornell. So later I did that. But at that point, I just started applying plant-based nutrition. I, removed meat and dairy from my diet for a long period of time. Then I wouldn't call myself a vegan. I felt that was a very big word to apply. But from my diet, I just stopped consuming dairy, stopped consuming meat, but I also put in a lot of vegetables. And the way I understood when I read any of these books was, it's not about what you don't eat, It was about what you eat. So then I brought in a lot of vegetables and made sure that every meal I ate, there was some healthy food in there, which is fruits, vegetables. I changed my grains to whole grains. I started having lentils, dals, chana every day.
Now it sounds all
Yeah.
healthier, wonderful, but how difficult was the transition phase?
Yeah. Oh, that was very difficult. That was. I only knew how to cook meat. And
You said you belong to a coastal area and you
Yeah.
eat fish as a staple diet. So
Yeah.
how was it to immediately remove dairy and meat and everything and suddenly find this which you're not so used to as a everyday's meal
yeah.
to just change as a plant-based lifestyle?
Yeah, it was. One thing is, I had developed a lot of faith in that. Whatever I read, there was so much logic in it. So I felt like this, I need to give it a try, you know.
Okay.
So that one dedication was there and determination to follow through this, because from whatever I had understood, I felt like this, I need to give it a go. So that one, when I had that determination and dedication, it became so easy to then follow up. So my friends used to tell me, but what are you going to cook now? Because you don't know. I mean, you only make steak and meat. And as an air hostess, I used to travel to different countries, and everyone would go clothes shopping, and I would go to the grocery. So that was something, and I would pick up not just fruits, but also a lot of, like, meats and things like that. But because initially I did not know what to cook and how to cook things, I just made the same gravies, the same fish curry that my mom used to make at home, the same thing, but I just put vegetables in it.
Huh.
And that's something I do even now. I realize that you don't have to think differently. In our own circumstances, we can just switch,
Replace.
just replace. And I don't have to think of it as it's a big change. That's what I did. I took it meal by meal. Whatever masala, whatever curry, rice, whatever I was making, I just added the healthier, replaced it with a healthier
And
alternative.
slowly you moved to whole
Slowly.
grains and lentils and
Yeah.
you added things later.
Yes. I mean, I was living on my own, so I didn't have to feed a family, or I didn't have to worry about what, parents, in-laws, children. I didn't have to think of that. So that was an added advantage for me. So immediately just for me, so I could immediately make those changes.
And you could always experiment.
Experiment royally, and make a mess out of food. And I would really, there are so many times I've just eaten some burnt things and tried to do things. So yes, I made big mess out of food, but I was the only one there. So I had that freedom to try out different things.
How long did you take to completely set to be another person who moved from the regular diet to a wholesome diet? How long did you take for yourself?
I feel like that's an ongoing journey. It's always there. I can never say, at this time it was all there, perfect. No. It's a journey. You keep adding on, you keep learning new things. It took me, let's say, at least a month to 3 months to understand how to cook these things and how to make a very tasty, meal, which had all the balance in flavors and things like that, without meat or dairy or processed foods or grains and sugar, things like that.
Processed food actually takes over a lot of our shelves,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
how was that difficult for you, taking off the processed food?
I was never a big fan of processed food. I wasn't a person who would eat chips, and that was not me anyway. So it became easier. But I also realized so many other things are processed in our diet, which is I went that extra step of following a whole food plant-based diet. So I even got rid of the oil.
Whoa.
And what I was feeling is I got to do this. I want to try it out fully. So when they say whole foods, plant-based, you can minimize your oil, but I said I'll remove it.
What is the purpose of removing oil from the food?
Right. So that's a very good question. So I think I wanted to understand. There was my mentor, Dr. Nandita Shah. She says that, in nature, nobody is sick. If you look at animals in the wild, no one is sick. And even if they are sick, they heal on their own, because our bodies have the healing power, and we are not different from that. So my inspiration for change was just listening to what nature is saying. So that's when I started listening to what nature has given, trying to observe nature closely. And when nature gave us coconuts and nature gave us olives and sunflower seeds, why do we want to put it through a machine and make oil out of it? So I learned the techniques on how to cook without oil, and it's absolutely possible. That learning curve takes time. It took me maybe a whole year, 1 year, to kind of
And
how
the
make.
palate also is some kind of used to eat certain tastes, right?
Yes.
So suddenly you remove oil, the food tastes different.
Yes, yes.
So it's a transition period for the longest, I think.
And then the best thing was I didn't have to let go of those foods. For example, I make dosas without oil, or I make whatever. There are so many things. We learned how to fry, how to use ovens or things like that. So I started learning the techniques, and I had this innate passion for cooking. So that helped a lot to try out these different things and make oil-free food, make oil-free samosas.
Wow.
So all of this, I would love doing it. And when my friends came over, I wanted to just, show off. See, I've made oil-free samosa, I've made murku, chakli, all these things without oil. So
Lovely.
it's possible. I trained myself. I did a lot of courses to learn and understand how. So it wasn't just oil, it was so many other things like maybe sugar. Instead of sugar, I started using dates, whole foods. Instead of rice, white rice, I started using millets, brown rice, things like that. So yes, to answer your question, it took me about a year to feel like, oh, I'm comfortable doing this.
See, you had a particular situation and
Yeah.
you wanted to outgrow it and become a healthier person,
Yes.
and you achieved that.
Yes.
So what inspired you to let go of a well-paying career and choose this as your profession?
Yeah, so remember we had this, the doctor said I have 4 other lumps, and that's why I had to take the medicine. So when I applied these lifestyle changes to myself, within a week's time of really going clearly, going off meat, dairy, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, taking care of my sleep, hydration, I felt that my chronic bronchitis had gone away.
Wow, chronic bronchitis.
And what was happening is every morning when I woke up, I used to have a lot of phlegm.
Okay.
But that went away. Then my gut issues started resolving. I started feeling cleaner, lighter, better. And I felt like I was in, it was magic. And then after
You were
6
your own
months,
experiment.
yeah. And I didn't think like that. I just felt like eat more fruits, eat more vegetables, eat close to nature. And I kept trying everything out. And after 6 months, I had a routine checkup of doing the ultrasound again to see if there's any progress, how things are. But it was a clear ultrasound.
Wow.
So those 4 other tiny lumps that were there, that were not yet cancerous, but they were still there. Fibrocystic breast, what people say. So that had gone away. And I mean, when I look at the before and after of the ultrasound and I see, okay, this is all clear, that was my living proof of how it worked for me. So in my circumstance, it helped. Would it now help others to get healthier? So now it was very difficult and challenging to change my parents, but I did it slowly, step by step. And I helped them to make small changes over a period of 1-2 years. And my mother, who had thyroid for 22 years, it was a big deal to help to get my parents to switch, especially mom who cooks at home, right? So I did take on that challenge to help them to kind of not consume milk products or not consume animal products and and go low on the oils and eat more whole and things, have a green smoothie, for example, right? So it took time. It was a lot of effort. I used to speak to my mother for 2 to 3 hours every day on the phone. And she didn't have a choice to hang up on me, so she had to listen. So then her health kept getting better. My mom and dad went off their cholesterol medicine. My mom's thyroid became better and better, and eventually she went off after a couple of years. She went off the medication. She reduced, and so she started getting better. She got the confidence to live life again. She started going and acting in dramas and plays and skits, which she was not doing before. But after changing her lifestyle, I guess it made such a holistic
The
difference.
energy levels also increased, right?
Increased, yeah. And then I thought this was magical. So I wanted to study it. So
And how
I
did you
took,
equip yourself by
Yeah.
again going back to study?
yes, yes,
Okay.
I had to, because this time, so in school I was never a studious child. I was happy with just, play and have fun and manage. But with this, I mean, when I was a kid, my parents had to force me to study. This, my mom had to come and ask me, my God, you're sitting and, in these books all day. So I felt that this passion inside me was so, uh, burning with excitement that I needed to, like, this was my purpose now. I felt like all this happened to me because I need to now share this information. And each human is different. What was my experience? I don't expect the same to happen to everybody, but by eating healthier and closer to nature, if
Theory is the same, right?
yeah, if others' health can get better, then why not? So yes, I did a couple of courses. I did a diploma course in nutrition in New York, one of the largest schools for nutrition. I did the plant-based course. I did functional nutrition. So I kept studying. I think studying is part of life. So it doesn't get over. You have to keep yourself updated. And when you're so passionate about the topic, you want to study more.
Wonderful. But even after studying, you can always be a consultant or do any freelancer job. What moved you to be an entrepreneur and set up a holistic wellness place?
Yes, so I was still flying at that point after I finished studying,
Okay.
and it was easy because when you're flying, you can get some time off and you can travel. So after I finished studying, I felt like I need to do something. So I approached my airline. I started the nutrition program for the cabin crew there, but I felt this is not enough. I need to do something else. So then pandemic hit at that time, and I said, okay, let me start doing free courses online for people. So I would do 6-day courses for people to just help them to understand how they can really take health in their own hands. And through my journey, whatever I had learned and education, and people started getting better. And they approached me and said, can you coach me through this? And I did train to become a health coach. So to work on people's habits, to help them form tiny, tiny habits over a period of time. So then they make that entire lifestyle change.
Wow.
So I started doing that. And I was still flying while I was doing that, but I felt that was not enough still. And again, this desire inside me to do more. So that's when I felt like it was time for me to put my full focus and energy, attention into bringing this message out. So when I returned to India again, I started continuing to coach people, but I felt that I was missing the human touch when I was doing nutrition counseling over a video call. There's only so much you can get. So I was missing that human touch, and I felt, okay, I need to really sit with people and start, working on their health. So I was looking for places and found a beautiful space and thought nothing better than to put everything natural healing under one roof as much as I can. And that was my journey.
So, what is your offering to anyone who is coming to Natureville?
So yeah, Natureville Holistic Wellness Center is all about natural healing. No two persons' healing journey is identical. Everyone's healing journey is very different. As a nutrition counselor, I focus on that person's circumstance, on that person's situation. You could be a homemaker, you could be a businessman, you could be a college-going kid. So your circumstances are different. So based on what the person's need and circumstances, we guide them on nutrition, on physical movement, exercise, yoga. We have acupuncture for pain relief, cupping, reflexology, massages.
Wow.
We do energy healing. So a lot of things.
So
And we have a cafe.
Oh, wonderful. Of course,
Yeah.
the baker and the cook in you will definitely want to advise more on nutrition and also provide the food, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, according to the whole plant-based food and the holistic wellness approach that you are giving, what diseases can be reversed?
So reversed is a big word again. So what I would like to define what reversed means. Number one, you do a blood test before making lifestyle food changes. Then you do your lifestyle and food changes, then you do your blood test again. And then if someone who had diabetes, someone who had blood pressure, someone high blood pressure, high cholesterol, hormonal issues, whatever they may be, with these lifestyle changes, is your blood work looking better? That's the first sign of reversed. So someone whose diabetes was very high, they made food changes, lifestyle changes like these, following a whole food plant-based lifestyle. And then they do after 2 or 3 months again blood test, and now it's back in normal, and the doctor has to reduce the medicines. And we have to continuously keep reducing medicines till it goes off. That is reversal. Another way of looking at reversal is, how am I feeling? I think more important than any paper or any test is, how are you feeling? If I am feeling tired all the time and I don't have energy and I don't have a good mood and I'm dragging through my day, and now if that has changed, then for sure you have reversed some imbalances in your body. So these are the two things we look at when we say reversal.
So not just a paper or a report, you yourself will understand it.
Yes.
So why holistic wellness center? Why not just nutrition?
So in my own journey, I also felt that only food and nutrition counseling is not enough.
Okay.
When I understood and studied integrative nutrition, we always term it into two different things, that is primary food and secondary food. So primary food is everything else other than your real food on your plate. So, you know, your movement, your spirituality, your exercise, your relationships, your career, your joy, just generally how your life turns out to be, right? All of that has a very big impact on how your health is.
Wow.
And then, of course, what you eat and what you're putting inside your body, that's also important. So, they have to go hand in hand. So even in my nutrition counseling, it is not only about diet and food. It's a lot about mindset. It's a lot about mindfulness. It's a lot about forming those habits so that even 10 years from now, you are on that path, and focusing a lot on your why factor. For me, my why factor was I wanted to be very, very healthy. I didn't want to give pain to myself or my friends or family about being sick or having any diagnosis. I didn't want that. And all I wanted was to be like any normal person, full of health and be able to do anything I want. So my why is very strong. And then I help people understand their why. If you know what is your why to be very healthy, whether you know it's for children, for your family, for yourself to achieve your dreams, making lifestyle changes is very easy.
Actually, that's so true. So you're speaking about mindset, right?
Yeah.
So you were an employee at one point in your life and later struggled and been a warrior and overcame your health issues and become stronger for yourself. And now you are an entrepreneur and a wellness coach and a nutritionist. You carry different hats. So what is that mindset change you observe in yourself?
Yes, I think there is a lot for sure. From an employee to an entrepreneur is a very big shift. And as we were speaking earlier, you know, getting your salary, monthly salary and going home is one thing, and making sure that you are responsible for so many salaries or so many people who work for you and setting up something. I think the mindset that I want to focus on, and I also find it challenging sometimes, is to realize the impact of the work that we do. You know, so every day you need to spend some time to realize what is it that you're here to do, and people who believe in you, whether it's your employees, your customers, your clients, they all are coming to your center, and you know, respecting each person for their own, whatever they're coming for, you know, and however you can make a difference in their life. To remind myself of that, and this added responsibility of doing this. At the same time, there is immense feeling of accomplishment, like, wow, me, I'm doing this. And to another side of thinking as an employee would be, I need to go do my work and come back. That's a very different mindset. So I am working a lot on this mindset, where every day where I remind myself how many lives we can touch, right from somebody who cleans the center to whoever's coming and taking our services, right? So how can we make a difference in their life? Yeah.
That's wonderful. And what were your challenges like when you're setting up a place like this? Because it's one of its kind and you
Yes.
don't have much places to go refer to that what exactly you want your vision to look like.
Yes.
So what was that process of shaping Natureville?
So while putting up Natureville, we were very keen to, we're clear about our vision. We're clear what we want to be. We are Bangalore's first whole foods plant-based wellness center. So the intention was not to travel somewhere else to feel like a retreat. It can be right within the city. So that aspect, and trying to really have a team that believes in all of it. So I'm very grateful for the team I have and thankful for the team and my partner. We do it together. So we are so in this journey together. But to get the right mindsets to work with you, that was challenging bit. Putting up a whole cafe where we don't have oil bottles at all, no oil in our kitchen, we don't have sugar or jaggery. And again, to say that I don't say you should not have oil at all, but I want to show that it is possible.
Because any commercial outlet, if you go, even if they claim it as healthier place, you don't see, probably sugar is not there, but they would always have jaggery and they would always have oils. So commercially, is it not a challenge for you to cross that and still maintain your standards?
Yeah, there is a challenge, but let me put it this way, it's a very doable challenge. If for the last 6-7 years I could cook plant-based without any milk or meat and eggs, I didn't have oil in my kitchen, I didn't have jaggery, sugar, I used dates, figs, natural foods, I didn't have refined processed grains, I made my own masalas instead of getting packaged ones. If I could do it there, I can do it here. The only thing is we have to expand the time frame. It will take a little longer to bring this out to the world till everyone understands that this is possible commercially and I can go to a place and have clean natural food. But it's very doable. But I have understood that it will take longer than, let's say, a healthy restaurant that may have healthier oils and things like that. So you got to dare to be different, right? So I want to do that.
I think people usually follow these once they hit their rock bottom, right?
Yes.
So how do you attract people or how do you draw people who are already living a healthy lifestyle or who are not having any health issues per se?
Yeah, that's where even I find to talk about health to people who are already healthy is a little challenging sometimes. But I feel that in today's world, we all have learned to ignore small signs. We have learned to ignore an ache, a pain, mouth ulcers, hair fall, breakouts, not a good sleep, feeling acidity, having a, let's say, like a constipation issue, things like this. We think it's okay. So what's happened is we have normalized these small issues. To an extent now, we have even normalized things like diabetes, high blood pressure. When I talk to potential clients, I hear a very common statement, and the statement is, I'm absolutely healthy, only diabetes problem. I'm very healthy, only sugar ka problem hai, only BP ka problem hai. So we have normalized that. So my efforts are to remind people that it's not okay to even have that. Your body has amazing healing powers and you can heal from those things provided you give it all the right conditions. Yeah.
So what is that one who is entering Natureville that they can expect from that place? I mean, you are exciting the people with like healthy food, but how is it? How appetizing is it? Like how tastier is it for them to come and experience the place?
So, I mean, so far the feedback we receive is most people don't know it is without oil. So that's one thing. Like I said, we can make samosas and pakoras without oil, so no one can make out. There is no dairy. We use alternatives which we make in house.
So you don't get anything processed at all?
we try to make as much as possible. So nuts and seeds are so high in fat, we make our own nut butters and our own seed butters and use that in the food. So the food is rich and it can be tasty, and I only want to help people understand that even if it doesn't have oil and sugar, you won't make out, you can't tell the difference, and sometimes it may even be tastier. And after you finish eating, you don't feel bloated and you don't feel heavy.
I think the
and
after
tired.
effects are much more important,
Yes.
right? Every time you go to a restaurant, the only challenge is you feel really heavy
Yeah.
after you come back.
Yeah.
And with your food and with the ambience you give there,
Yeah.
it's a holistic experience that
It
you have a
is.
day outing, experience everything and still feel light.
Yes, it's somebody who's looking for a day of relaxation. From the time you step in, we want to create an environment which is very relaxing, soothing and calming, where you can sit down in a reading lounge and read, or just relax, work from there. We want to kind of bring that in the city, where you don't have to travel somewhere far away to have a retreat. You can have a mini retreat for yourself for half a day.
Oh, that's quite interesting. I think I would want to add the name for sure, Natureville's address and all, so that people can easily contact you guys.
Thank you. Yes.
Wonderful. Before we sum up our interview, can you give me 3 things that we must do, eating wise and doing wise, to have a healthy life?
Yeah. So in terms of food, we definitely want to, number one, include a lot of colorful plants.
Okay.
I have also realized when people want to make their shift into a healthier lifestyle, we get very intimidated by the do's and the don'ts. So the best way to look at it is, there are not too many do's and don'ts. In your circumstance, in your city, in your village, wherever you are, right, you can make a difference. You can start including whole plants, colorful vegetables and fruits. We are not eating enough raw vegetables. It's not our culture, but we can start with maybe just slices of carrot and cucumber, and then move on to making a little bigger salad of whatever vegetables you like. Start with the vegetables you like, and your taste buds will change, and you will be able to then include other vegetables that you don't like also. And so number one for food is to include colorful raw vegetables, because it just helps in your digestion. It helps to make your body a lot more alkaline. So people who have acidity issues, people who have gut problems, they start feeling better. The second thing with food would be to eat slowly and to pace out your meals. And remember one thing, your digestive fire is always the highest at noon, when the sun is highest. So to make your heaviest meal that. So that brings me to point 2, which is, make sure that your lunch is very fulfilling. You've got some raw veggies, you've got some cooked vegetables, not to overcook your vegetables, but just right. Some whole grains. If you have brown, red rice, great. Millets, we are in the land of millets, so use those. And then have some dals or lentils or chana. So when you have this complete meal, it's the best. Your body can start feeling the effects, energy. And another thing with food would be to listen to your body. If I know that if I finish this entire 1 pack of biryani, I am going to feel so tired and unhealthy after. Eat little bit of whatever you feel is your tasty, fun foods. Eat it. Don't ever deny yourself of anything, but just eat little bit. Eat it slowly and enjoy it, instead of thinking and making false promises. These are some traits I see in people, where we say, chalo, I'll finish eating this today and from tomorrow diet. So instead of that all or none attitude, we can focus on balance, where whenever I want, I can eat my favorite foods, which may not be so healthy, but I'll eat little bit of it, and I'll always balance it out, maybe with the next meal to have a salad and to have some colorful foods. So in this way, I've mentioned mindset and food habits.
Wonderful. And also diet is somewhere seen on a wronger, stronger notion that you have to cut out of everything that's not okay, and basically compromise on your
Yes.
tastes and like, okay, I have to let go of this, and I'll strictly maintain the diet for one particular target,
Yeah.
and after that I can let go. So how far do you suggest your clients or who are watching this show that it's not a diet for a particular event or a particular duration of time,
Yes.
but it's a lifestyle change?
So true. Very well said, Archana. The thing is, we are looking at diet as a limited period, whereas that doesn't help at all. I mean, I'm sure you know of people who went on a diet and then put back on the double the
the
amount of
weight.
weight, right? So diets are temporary. Diets are restrictive, and what the definition of diet means as a human being, as a species, what is our diet? If we look at, let's say elephants, what is their diet, right? So let's start using the word diet in terms of what I eat on a daily basis throughout my life, right? So we want to focus on the lifestyle shift. We want to make it a lifestyle, not a diet. So that way, it's very important to think that you can eat everything and anything you want, but you know the foods that will make you feel healthy. You know that whole plant foods close to nature, those are the foods that are good for our body. And do as much as you like and whatever you think you can manage, instead of trying to do a lot for a short period of time. Just start with one good habit for yourself
So actually,
every day.
how do one start? Because
Yeah.
I think starting is the problem. Usually, they would think, "Oh, that's a big challenge, or probably I'll take it later." So, what do you advise people who want to start off with
Yeah.
healthy eating?
So, number one, you don't have to wait for a perfect day to start a healthy diet. You can always make healthy choices all the time. So, we all eat 3 times a day, 2, 3, 4 sometimes. So, every time we eat, we have a choice. Either I can choose to eat a very oily dosa, or I can choose to eat a steamed millet idli. I can choose to have some whole grains with some dals and or a roti or something like that with a lot of vegetables, or I can choose to eat a maida based dish or something like that with a lot of oil, or a white rice based dish. So I would say the few things is for a beginner, try to convert whatever you are eating. If you are from the south or you are from different state, wherever you are from, whatever you are eating, convert it to the healthiest. So if I'm eating a lot of white
Probably
rice,
somebody who is ordering food, for them it's to just
just
cook.
eat at home.
Cook.
Right? So very good point. So each one of us has a different thing. So let's look at what our own life is and make those choices and start to switch. So instead of eating a lot of, let's say, refined grains, white rice, I'll just switch one meal to millets. That also is a big change.
True.
Yeah.
True. And from there, if somebody wants to, or whoever is interested, they can always approach Upasana
Yes.
and take the best nutrition support and go ahead with their healthiest journey.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was truly wonderful talking to you, Upasana, and I'm sure our audience love whatever you have given them, and your story is definitely inspiring.
Thank
and
you.
taking forward from here, wishing you all the success and you reach many more people's life through Natureville, and wishing a lot of success on this, wholesome journey of yours.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed being here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Thanks.